Today I'm going to be making a card with the Friends Are Like Seashells, and I'll be using the coordinating dies that come with this set, and it comes as a bundle or individually. I'll also be using some Bermuda Bay ink, the embossing folder that goes with the suite for Friends Are Like Seashells. This is a 3D embossing folder. I'll be using some of the free paper from the Celebration brochure. This is free pack of paper with a $50 purchase, and it's Oso Ombre, and it comes in Bermuda Bay, Blackberry Bliss, Granny Apple Green, Rococo Rose, and Whisper White. Okay, and from that pack I'm actually going to be using the Bermuda Bay. I'll be decorating my card with opal rounds, also part of the suite for the Seashells set. And I've already die cut a piece of the, I've die cut the seashells with the die, and then I embossed it in the embossing folder. It's very easy to line it up and emboss it. And I've also cut one out in the pearlescent paper, which also comes with the suite, or you can purchase individually. You can see the difference. The pearlescent paper is pearlized, it's shiny, it has a little bit of a vanilla tinge to it, where this is Whisper White, is very white. But I'm going to show you how to pearlize the paper if you don't have pearlescent paper and you'd like to make this card, because you can do that by using the Frost White all-purpose ink that's available from Stampin' Up. It's item number 147046, and it's about $8. And I'm going to show you now how you can use that. Let me get my pad here. I must have moved it. Of course, always when you want it. All right, here it is. This is my little adhesive pad that keeps things from sticking, but I'm going to use that also for this. Now, I took a piece of Whisper White and I stamped two of the designs, the sand dollar and the starfish, in Bermuda Bay, and I let that set overnight. And this is the Whisper White that I've already die cut. So in order to pearlize this, I'm going to take an old makeup brush that that I have designated for paints versus for the inks. And I'm going to put a little bit of this on my mat here. Only takes a little bit. I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to dab my brush in it, and then I'm going to just swirl it around on my die cut design, seashell designs. And try not to curl the edges when you're swirling it around or moving it around. And you can see if you need a little more by tilting the paper, but it looks like I've got enough on there. I'll use a little bit more in a second. So once it's been pearlized, you can see, I don't know if you can see the glimmer on that, but it's pretty shiny, but not quite as shiny as the pearlescent paper, and definitely not as yellowed. It leaves it more white. Okay, so just show you how to do that. I'm going to press out this little piece here. And also, I'll show you how to pearlize something that you've stamped, because you do it in the same way. so that I don't get everything messy, I'm going to wipe this paint off of here. Okay, and then so I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to take just a drop of paint. I'll just put it on the paper here. Just a drop, like that. I'm going to wipe it off so that when you close it, it doesn't glue it closed. And then I'm going to dab that, and then I'm going to swirl it around on these two items, the sand dollar. Now it does take some of the paint and some of the ink and kind of swirl it around it, but that's okay. It's still going to look nice once you put it on the card. We're going to cut this piece up anyway and put it on the front of the card, so I'll show you that now. With your leftover, you're going to want to, anytime you use an paint, you're going to want to wash your brushes and let them dry. Okay, so set that aside. Now what I've got here is, of course, the Designer Series paper, the So Ombre in Bermuda Bay. And I wanted to make an oval to put at the bottom of the card. Now I've already stamped the sentiment, friends are like seashells, you collect them along the way. I've completed the inside with a strip of the DSP. And this little mermaid is from a retired set called Magical Mermaid. And I wanted to add just a little bit of whimsical to the inside. It says, "Happy birthday to my beautiful friend." And I'm making this card for my best friend, whose birthday is next month, and she lives in Florida. So I'll show you how I made the oval. So what I did is I took a regular cereal bowl, this little Corel kitchen cereal bowl, and I measured up about 1 5/8. I have my measurement here somewhere, let's see. 1 5/8. So I measured up 1 5/8. I placed my bowl there, and then I took a Sharpie and I marked the corners of the where the corners of the paper are on my bowl. Then I took the DSP and I put it down on my glass mat. I put the bowl down so that my markings are right on the edges of the paper, and it does measure to be about 1 5/8 inches up. Then I took my craft knife and I went around it with the craft knife to cut it out, and I glued that was on my glass mat. So that was the easiest way I could find to do it, since I didn't want to cut a complete circle and have wasted paper. That's how I cut it. Besides, you're going to use the remaining paper that you have to cut a strip for the back of your envelope. We're going to put this on the back of the envelope here, and we're just going to glue it on there and then cut around it. And I've also stamped the mermaid on the front of this envelope with Bermuda Bay. So let me show you how I'm going to put the card together. So I've cut out 2 pieces from the die cut. It is this piece up here, and you want to cut a little extra, so a square maybe. And I cut 1 in vellum and 1 in Bermuda Bay. And then I kind of offset them. I glued them at the bottom because you're not going to see this part at all. We're going to put this down probably right about in the middle, but right about there. I'm just going to place it there for now. I've also cut out and I pearlized these. So when you have your die cut, let me get the one that I just worked on. You're going to cut out this seashell, this she-shell, and the chevron seashell, the little one. So these 3 are the ones that you're going to be using. you can save these and put them on the inside, or you can save them for another card. These are the grasses that you're going to cut for the Bermuda Bay and the vellum piece for the front. Okay, I also, here are my pieces that of Whisper White that I pearlized with the pearlescent paint, or the, I'm sorry, Frost White paint, just like this one. And then I die cut these with the coordinating die cuts from the stamp and die set. I also have the little chevron here that we'll be using. So we'll be using those and these two seashells. Okay, I have a little strip of 1/4 inch paper here that I typed "I'm so happy I found you." Then I took another piece of the remaining DSP and I cut a strip to go across the front. I also have a piece of vellum that I am going to use for the front as well. I cut little tails on these and on both sides of the sentiment. Okay, so let's put it together and I'll show you how easy it is to work with these cards. So I've already cut out the seashells. So let's just do our placement and glue everything down. So I'm going to place this, I'm just going to glue this base piece here that won't be shown because it's going to be behind the seashells. So I'm going to put it almost over to the edge. Let's see, I'm going to put this one here so that will cover up the parts that we don't want to show. So let me get this right back over where I want it, right there. Okay, and then this shell I'm going to put over here. And this one I'm going to have sticking out over here. And this one will go up here. And the little one probably on top. And then the starfish off to the side. So our layout is going to be about like that. Okay, and then we will put our strips for our sentiment. Probably put them underneath this layer here. So I'm going to put these down with glue, but then I'm going to use dimensionals on these. So okay, so we'll start with the big one. So maybe right about there. Okay, and this one. I have over here. See, we've covered up that center part there. Okay, now on these I'm going to use dimensionals, so let me get out some dimensionals here. I'm going to use both the small and the mini and the regular size. So, well, maybe I'll just use the regular size because it'll fit behind this little shell. And we'll use a couple here. Maybe 3. Hold that up, and then I think just one in the middle will probably work for that, so we don't use the mini this time. Okay, so let's put down our pieces here, and I think I'm going to go all the way over to the edge. So let's just put that down. And then I'm going to take my vellum piece and I'm going to put it down. Now with vellum, you don't want to see the glue on it, so I'm going to put it in the center because I'm going to cover that up pretty much with the, oh, I may have put too much on there, but we'll see. Okay, so that's about a, an 1/8 of an inch or so above the bottom of the card. And then the little sentiment, I'm just going to put right here, a little over the edge of the vellum at the top. So I don't want to do that until I put these on. So let's see. Let's put this guy on first. Remove the backs of the dimensionals and place that. I'm going to place it right about in the center, I guess. And then the starfish we'll have over here, and the little chevron shell. I think that's what you call that. I think the larger one is probably a scallop. We'll put this one right about here. Now let's see if we can get this over the top. And I'm just going to glue it to the starfish and a bit of the sand dollar and the little chevron at the end. So let's see how this goes. A little here, maybe a little bit right here. I don't want to over glue it and then it glues it all the way down to where, so make sure I get it straight. Okay, because those behind it are on dimensionals, it holds it up off of the rest of the paper. So there it is. Its friends are like seashells. And with your homemade pearlized paper and the inside. And now let's just quickly do the envelope. And the way you do that is you don't want to put any wet glue on the back of a seal of an envelope. And it's because it puckers it and it kind of makes it weird. So when you put your glue on here, let me get a tape runner real quick. Okay, so you put tape on that part. Okay, and on the rest of it, that's where you're going to put the glue. So put the glue all along here. Okay, but you want to make sure that you get it right to the edge so that it sticks on there. And then you're going to lay this down. Making sure you've got it right at the edge. Smooth that out. And then you're just going to cut off the excess with your snips. So you just go around. And I cut that right at the right size there. Come over here. Go around. Okay, so there you have that. So there's your card and your envelope. And then I wanted to show you that if you didn't want to make this particular card during my workshop, that I have an alternative, and that would be this card, also made with the same stamp set and dies. And I've done a background technique on this one and the inside. So this would be the alternate card to the Friends Are Like Seashells card. So you can make your decision when you go over the brochure. All right, thank you very much for watching the video. Have a wonderful day.